Okay, so for today's review, we're going to take a look at KaOS. I believe the proper pronunciation is KaOS, but I can't look at that word without thinking chaos. So if I say chaos, it's just going to slip out because that's what I always refer to it as in my head because that's how I see it on the screen. So when you boot the live session for KaOS, you get start KaOS live, which is just a standard start. You have an NVIDIA option, just in case you have NVIDIA drivers. Boot from hard disk, hardware detection, memory test. We're going to start KaOS live. My primary goal in this video is I want you guys to see this installer. It's a thing of beauty. So KaOS Linux was originally derived from Arch Linux, but now it has its own repositories and its own build system. It is no longer dependent on any other distribution and is its own independent distro. At this current point in time, KaOS is designed to be KDE Plasma first, and as far as I know, only. And it is 64-bit only. There are no 32-bit libraries. So when it comes to Wine and Steam, Proton, you're going to have some issues. From what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, Steam works very well in KaOS as a flatpak. So that is an option. We're going to let this load up. I want you to see the installer. There is when you get to the installer options for Office, it gives you the option for LibreOffice or Calligra. And Calligra is the KDE version of an Office suite. And we'll look at that. This is a slightly older installer, just by like a week. And there's going to be some updates to apply. KaOS uses Pacman package manager with Octopi as its front end. I'm going to show you how fast, how blazingly fast it downloads and applies updates. It's absolutely amazing. This is the boot screen for KDE or for KaOS. It is a KDE Plasma centric OS. Nice little welcome screen. Click install KaOS. Has a guide, has forum and documentation, and a donate button. You can click on passwords and see your live session root username and password. You have an about screen, about KaOS. Idea behind KaOS is to create a tightly integrated, rolling, and transparent distribution for the modern desktop, built from scratch with a very specific focus. Focus on one DE, KDE, one toolkit, Qt, and one architecture, 64-bit. Again, this does not have 32-bit libraries available. You also have a package list for what's running on your system right now. So we're going to go ahead and click install. I want you to see this installer. It's a thing of beauty. So right across the bottom, welcome, location, keyboard, packages, audio, partitions, blah, all the above. But you have a next button, so you can just go step by step. Current language is American English. I'll keep that. Time zone is not correct. Time zone American New York. Yes, it is correct. Took it a moment to find it, but it is correct. You'll hit next. English and default. Right here you have the option to pick your Office suite. The default is Calligra, which is KDE centric. KDE Office suite for word processing, spreadsheets, presentation, vector graphics, editing, databases. That is the default. You also have the option to select LibreOffice if you'd prefer it, or no Office suite, or option minimal install. I'm going to go ahead and select Calligra so we can take a little look at it afterwards. Hit next. Audio loading failed. That's probably because I'm on a virtual machine I am running VirtualBox, and it may not have what it needs. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I'm going to erase the entire partition. If we go into manual partition, it will tell you having a GPT partition table and FAT32 512 boot partition is a must for UEFI installs. I will say this, that when I booted this on my 2-in-1 Lenovo laptop with secure boot enabled, it did not boot. It said keys were missing. I switched the UEFI setting to not boot by secure boot, and it booted just fine. So the option is there. It's just apparently doesn't work on my particular laptop. We're going to go back to the erase disk option, and it'll set everything by default. XFS is the default partition manager. You also have X4, ButterFS, ZFS all available. And just for argument's sake, we're going to set swap with Hibernate and hit next. You do have the option to not install Grub, and you have the option to not install a bootloader. If you're new to Linux, this is not recommended. So on this screen, this is where you set all your information, your login name, your password, etc. So I'll set my normal username. VirtualBox is fine. Give it a password. Repeat password. Password is too short. If you want it to go ahead and accept your password, just click that little X right there, and it'll take your too short of a password. Reuse username. Reuse user password as root password. Yes. Log in automatically without asking for a password. That's fine with me. Hit next. Summary loading failed. Go ahead and hit next. Install now. And I'm sure that the failing bits are because it's VirtualBox. I have no doubt. We're going to let this run. It runs pretty quick. And I'll just go ahead and pause it, catch you on the other side. It's just installing. The install is done. We're going to go ahead and restart the system. This is what you're greeted with on first boot. You get all of this information. Widget style, plasma theme, window decoration, mouse behavior, icon set, virtual desktop, screen settings, colors, and font settings. You have packages. These are popular packages that it thinks you might want. Email clients, video editors, image manipulation. You can select on one, and you can install selected packages. Wallpaper. Default wallpaper that you can download. Docs. Asking Smart. Probably, is that AI? I don't know. Pacman, that is the package manager. Switching NVIDIA, additional kernels, KCP, and forum. Under advanced, you get firewall, energy saving, system daemon, add users, network management, KDE wallet. Configure search, Pacman cache, default apps, about, again, it tells you about, KaOS, news, tells you news about KaOS, and you can quit. I'm going to go back to customize, and I'm going to turn that off. We'll go ahead and hit quit. So your task manager or taskbar is on the right hand side vertical. I'm not personally a big fan of vertical on either side of the desktop. So I'm just going to right click on that, show panel configuration. First thing that comes up is set position. You click that button, you click the down arrow. Now it's on the bottom like we're all used to. Not faulting KaOS in one little slightest bit because they're doing something different. And I applaud them for that. It's KDE Plasma. It's really easy to change. Same thing with, let's see, global themes. Click global themes. Again, it's KDE Plasma. It's super easy to change. Freeze dark is my favorite. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And now it's something I'm used to. It did put the bar back over here, so we're going to move it again. Show configurations, set position, click bottom, and done. Okay. We're going to go ahead and run updates because I want you to see how fast it is. If I right click on Octopi Notifier, I can check for updates. I can do system upgrade. Let's do a system upgrade. And I'm going to show you how quick this thing is. So we have 181 packages. I'm going to go ahead and hit yes. You can also run in terminal if you want to see the printout. We'll go ahead and do that just to see it. Hit yes. Downloading very quickly. I'm not sure where the default server is, but I'm pretty sure it's overseas unless it saw that I was in the United States and picked one closer. So the download is already finished and now it's working on the upgrading from what it downloaded. Very quick. And it's done. That quick to update or upgrade. 181 packages. Not bad, not bad. So let's take a look at Calligra Office Suite. That is one thing that I wanted to do. I don't have personal very much experience with it, so I actually want to see it. Calligra Office Suite. You can pick words, stage. I guess that's the spreadsheet. Well, sheets. Sheets is not the spreadsheet. Man, I don't know. So we'll go to words, blank document. So this is your standard type it. Okay, that's fine. Discard. Go back into that. I'm going to go back to that stage. The picture looks like spreadsheet. Okay, that makes more sense. Presentation, stage. I get it. So we'll go back to that. Calligra Sheets. The icon doesn't look much like Sheets, but okay. Standard database. Okay. I'm not really trying any of them. I just want to see what they look like, obviously. And there was 2 left. Carbon. What is carbon? Oh, carbon is for drawing, just like LibreOffice Draw. Okay. I get it. And there was 1 left. Oh, no, quit was all that's left. Okay. So, full Office Suite. Very similar to LibreOffice. Haven't tried any of them as far as how they work. I don't rely a lot on Office Suite. Okay, let's take a look at Kate. Okay, Falcon web browser. That is the KDE designed or KDE built web browser for KDE. I'm going to select classic. I'm going to select no password, and wallet will never bother me again while it continues to function in the background. So this is a web browser made by KDE. Okay, that's not bad. We don't know how user-friendly it is. So is this based on Chromium, or is this its own thing? I don't know. Ad block is built in. Interesting. About Falcon. Mozilla KHTML like Gecko. Okay, this is Qt Web Engine, Chrome, Safari. Hold that thought. Okay, so this is what I wanted to know. Falcon, formerly Cupzilla, is a free and open source web browser developed by KDE. It is built on the Qt Web Engine, which is a wrapper for Chromium Browser Core. Okay, so I guess it has Chromium. It's basically Chromium. That's what I'm getting from that. Not terrible, not terrible. All right, so let's take a look at, I want to go into the Octopi. Can I get there from here? Yes. Okay. So I want to see some of the things that's available. For example, this does not have 32-bit libraries. Keep that in mind. But it does have Wine. But it only has Wine 64-bit, which makes it a pretty limited implementation of Wine. If you want to run Steam, they recommend that you use Flatpak, which from what I'm reading works pretty well in KaOS. So use Flatpak version of Steam, and maybe there's a Flatpak version of Wine as well, and that would be what I would recommend. We can go ahead and install this just to see what it looks like. I did this on my previous testing, and then after it installed, it said it's a 64-bit only and pretty limited. Right there's your pop-up. KaOS is a 64-bit only. Most applications will try to load in Wine or 32-bit. Do not open bug reports for such failing 32-bit applications. Use only 64-bit instead. This makes Wine very limited use on KaOS. So that's it. I mean, some things might work, some things won't. Makes Wine, which is kind of limited, even more limited. So a little bit disappointing, but I understand they don't want to support the cruft that is 32-bit. I get it. I understand. Let's see what else we have and what versions we have them. So OBS, there's OBS Studio of 30.2.3, which is what I'm running in Tumbleweed. And this is a rolling release, so it should have everything pretty well up to date, just like a rolling release should. Let's see what else we can find. I use Godot some 4.3-1, which I think is what we're on. I'm using 4.3 stable, so probably the same. Very good, very good. I use Kdenlive a lot, and that is a KDE program, so there's no reason it wouldn't be there. 24.08.1. We'll go with that. What about browsers? Is Firefox available? It is 131.0. Pretty sure that's what I'm also running in Tumbleweed. And what about Chrome? Oh, look there. It does have Google Chrome by default. And let's install that and see how it goes. Confirm? Sure. Okay. It looks like it's done. Do we now have Chrome under Internet? We do. Nice. So except for 32-bit libraries, it looks like everything that you might need, unless it's a really special case or certain specific case scenario, it looks like everything that you would need is here and available. Again, except for those 32-bit libraries. But other than that, it's a fine distribution, and it puts KDE Plasma as a #1 citizen. Very cool. Very cool. And last but not least, let's go into our info center that I like to do all the time. Plasma version 6.1.5, Frameworks version 6.6.0, Qt version 6.7.3, kernel version 6.10.11, and those are all pretty darn current. And why not? We'll compare it to my Tumbleweed just like I usually do. So 615, 660, 67, KaOS has 673 Qt version where I have 672. I do have an update available that I have not applied yet this morning. KaOS has kernel version 6.10.11, Tumbleweed 6.11.0, and KaOS does default its session to Wayland. So very cool. Very cool. So that's all. That's going to be all of this video. As always, thank you so much for watching.